What's going on, everybody? It has been a minute since I've posted a video on this channel, and I would like to say that I have a good excuse for that. That excuse being that I just have so many different things going on, like posting obviously 8 different podcasts a week through Steelers Afternoon Drive, through Around the 412, if you're familiar with the other stuff that I have my hand in. But I want to get more consistent with posting videos on this channel, and I want to do stuff that like isn't involved with the stuff that I'm already talking about, whether it is the Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh sports in general. I want this channel to be like separate stuff, so like NFL draft stuff, and I'm a huge WWE fan, as you can tell from this video that we're going to dive into here, and that's what I want this to be the home for, is my other interest, tattoos, life in general. So you're gonna see a lot of like variety stuff on this channel in the coming months, and this will be the home for that. Obviously, Steelers After Drive, Around the 412. If you're into Pittsburgh sports, please go check those out as well. But you're not going to get that here. You're going to get a lot of different stuff that you won't see on my other channels. So I'm excited to dive into this venture. And I figured, why not start with my favorite PLE of the year, the 2025 Royal Rumble. I will be in attendance at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis for the 2025 Royal Rumble, a 4-match card. I assume that's going to stay the case. I'm not expecting a late edition on the go home Raw or SmackDown for the Royal Rumble until this thing goes to 2 nights, which I think I'm kind of expecting is going to happen after the Saudi Arabia Rumble in 26. I think in 2027, could see it go to 2 nights, with obviously the women's headlining and men's headlining their respective nights. So I'm looking forward to when that becomes the case, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the 2025 Royal Rumble. And my predictions for such, we're going to go into who I think is going to be the winner, maybe do some fantasy booking for what could that mean down the line, and some other things. So probably have a little bit more of a discussion than just, hey, here's the match, here's my prediction for it. But without further ado, I guess we can kind of dive into it. So first up, the WWE Tag Team titles, DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns, best 2 out of 3 falls. I'm just excited we're getting the tag titles on a PLE. It's been so long. I thought this was just going to be on the Go Home SmackDown that they would do this. And also the fact it's 2 out of 3 falls makes it really compelling as well. Stipulation in both of the matches that are not the Royal Rumbles on the 2025 Royal Rumble match card. So very excited for that. I think this is going to be a banger. Like, I don't know if this is going to kick off the show. I'm curious to see if they do like a Rumble to kick off and a Rumble to close out. Very well could be the case. That seems to be kind of the way that they're going. But wherever this slots in, I think this is going to be a banger. I don't think you're going to have a lull in the crowd because of that. Motor City Machine Guns have come in and done some great work. I'm glad that they've been getting the pops that they are, and people know who they are within the WWE community. And DIY may be doing their best work since turning heel as well. I expect that this will go all 3 falls. Like if you're doing a 2 out of 3 falls match and it doesn't go to the 3rd fall, you kind of sit there wondering, okay, what was the point of even doing this? So I think we go all 3 falls here. But I'll be honest, like as much as I want the belts back on Motor City Machine Guns and thought that they took them off them too early, I think you'd kind of be doing the same thing to DIY here. I think they have a lot more meat left on the bone within this championship run. The stuff that they're doing behind scenes with Pretty Deadly and stuff seems pretty compelling. It just seems way too early for me to have DIY lose those straps. So I think they're going to come out on top of this thing. I think DIY retains their tag team titles, again, going to all 3 falls. But I'm just excited for this match in general. I'm excited that it's on a PLE and not just on the Go Home SmackDown to the show. That's kind of what I was expecting to have happen. These teams have great chemistry together. I think we're going to see a lot more work out of this. I expect the Street Profits to kind of get back in the mix. For as much as the Raw side of things with their tag belts is not cooking, they're kind of cooking right now on SmackDown with the tag belts. So I'm excited to see where this whole thing goes. But yeah, I got DIY retaining their titles here in the 2 out of 3 falls match. I want to save the Rumbles for last. So let's go to Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, the ladder match for the WWE Undisputed World Championship here. I like the direction that this has gone overall. I love the Kevin Owens character arc that they're kind of going. Also, like I feel like seeds are kind of being planted towards this Cody Rhodes heel turn that we know is eventually going to come. And do we get Randy Orton return in this match? Do we get Randy Orton return in the Rumble? Let's be honest, like Cody Rhodes is winning this match. I guess we can just go to that part of this right now. Cody Rhodes is not going to lose this belt right here to Kevin Owens. I'm just hoping that it's a very good match. But just going back to, when does Randy come back? I think he comes back to this PLE. He's been out of action since Kevin Owens took him out with the pile driver. But I see a world here where this actually happen. I mean, it's going to happen before the men's Royal Rumble. Kevin Owens ends up being a participant in the Royal Rumble. They have the standoff with Randy Orton there, as opposed to Randy returning during the match. Could see it going either way, right? Like, so I think it's going to be interesting from a booking perspective, which route that they decide to go. Do we see Kevin Owens lose this match, but enter in the Royal Rumble later? Is that where we get the face off with Randy Orton? And the compelling thing about this, man, is what's next for Cody, because I assume this puts to rest the feud with Kevin Owens. I wouldn't expect him to be involved in Elimination Chamber. So I'm thinking this is probably like the last like major, whatever his next feud will be the WrestleMania setup. I don't want to give away too much in terms of what I'm thinking for the men's Royal Rumble match or anything like that. But I'm expecting another, like, this card is super compelling to me. I know it's only 4 matches, but like the 2 matches that are not Rumbles, I really have my interest. And I'll be honest, like last year, everybody knew Roman was winning, but we were hoping for a great fatal 4-way match with LA Knight, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles going in against Roman. And I didn't think it lived up to the billing of what I was kind of expecting. Kind of wish it would have just been a solo one-on-one match with Randy Orton and Roman. In the U.S. title match, which was, a nothing burger between Kevin Owens and Logan Paul. So this match, to me, I'm hoping lives up to the billing of what I'm expecting this to be, with it being a ladder match. Do we see another pile driver from Kevin Owens? Kind of thought that was going to happen. Saturday Night Main Event to Shawn Michaels. And it looked like it was going to, right? But Cody helps Shawn get out of it, and then he hits him with the sweet chin music. So yeah, I got high hopes for this one. But again, Cody wins. It's just, do we get Randy back in this match, or does that wait until the men's Royal Rumble and we have a standoff at that point? The women's Royal Rumble. See, I'm curious who we're even going to, what the field looks like for this. I think the men's is a lot harder. Like, there's a lot more people, in my opinion, that could win the men's one than in the women's. I think women's, we got a few options here, but I'm curious to see who even fills out the field, how many NXT folks that we get coming up. Because their women's division down there, my goodness, best in the world, in my opinion. They have so much talent down there. Not to say that there's not the talent on the main roster. I would like to sit here and say Io Sky wins this, goes on to face Rhea Ripley. There's been some chatter about that, but the reports are the directions they would like to go or have been discussed for WrestleMania are Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton, Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Kind of leaves you wondering, like, okay, what's that mean for Becky Lynch when she comes back? Does she come back before WrestleMania? She signed her new deal, but that doesn't necessarily mean she has to appear before that picture. Just would think that they want her involved in something. Is a Liv Morgan feud with Becky Lynch returning in the cards? Is she going to be part of maybe trying to build up those mid-card titles they just introduced? Do we see a feud with Lyra Valkyria going in to WrestleMania for her fellow countrymen? Like, I think that this is going to be interesting to see where they go with that, because I feel like Becky's coming back, but like it's hard to find that major feud for her going into WrestleMania if those are the directions they're going. And then I mentioned Io Sky, like what direction does she go if she's not going to be a part of the Women's World Championship picture going against Rhea Ripley? So I got high hopes for this as well. I thought the Women's Rumble has stolen the show, especially last year with Bayley winning, but the match itself was fantastic. Really good booking decisions, other than in 2022 when Ronda won, in my opinion, since this thing has been brought to light in the 2018 Royal Rumble when they introduced the Women's Royal Rumble. I think it's stolen the show from the men more often than not. So I'm really looking forward to this. I don't want to say my fear, because I'm looking forward to this feud happening, but with Charlotte Flair coming back into the picture and immediately being put in that title picture, that's the direction we're going. Charlotte Flair wins the Women's 2025 Royal Rumble. So it's between her and Bianca for me. Which one is going to win? The other one I'm probably going to get in like by winning the Elimination Chamber or something like that to become the number one contender for the other strap. The WWE Women's Championship or the World Championship, obviously, depending on which one wins this. I'm going to go Charlotte winning this, which would mean Bianca wins an Elimination Chamber or something down the line to end up being the number one contender. And obviously, like what that means for brands, like Bianca full-time on Raw at that point, or which direction do we go there? Charlotte versus Tiffany does make a ton of sense. And I'll be honest, this is where, like I mentioned, kind of the fantasy booking aspect of this, or just looking down the road. My concern is they put the strap on her and we have a very short Tiffany Stratton reign. Hope that's not the case. Hope they use Charlotte Flair to kind of propel Tiffany Stratton to the next level and make her a made woman at WrestleMania and give her that stamp that she needs, because obviously winning a feud against Charlotte Flair could just propel her to the next level. She's already continued to level up, obviously, in her career. That's just another level that she could take. But yeah, we're going Charlotte Flair to win the Women's 2025 Royal Rumble. And then closing things out, we'll go with the Men's Royal Rumble. I don't know that this is going to close the show, but let's just pretend for this situation that it's going to. I mentioned there's a lot of names here. The star power in this thing is unbelievable. And that's not even like talking about, like, we know John Cena's returning. Other than that, like Randy Orton return, I feel like that's going to happen. I'm leaning towards, again, that being here in the Royal Rumble as opposed to that happening in the ladder match, but we'll see. So we'll see what direction they decide to go with that. But you talked about John Cena, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio's already declared for this match. LA Knight's declared for this match. We'll see, who else fills out the field. I don't know. I have a take here, and I don't know if people are going to agree with it or not. 2000, was it 11 or 12? Or was it 13? Dang it. Somewhere within my mind gets, a little hazy when I'm talking about the Royal Rumble that Alberto Del Rio won because it was so terrible. 40-man Royal Rumble. At the time, no need to do that, right? This feels like a year where if they had a 40-man Royal Rumble, this would be the time to do it with the amount of talent that they have. Not only, obviously, on Raw and SmackDown, the NXT looks a little bit bleaker on the men's side than it does the women's. They get overshadowed down there a little bit. But you also have the TNA partnership that you could utilize as well. Do we see Joe Hendry? Do we see Nick Nemeth? Do we see the Hardys at all from that partnership? Josh Alexander. Going back to the women's side, Jordan Grace, I would expect to see in this thing as well. Returns from people that, we have been in AEW, like an Malachi Black. Does he come back as Aleister Black? I expect he's going to come back to the WWE, but when does that take place? So I'm looking forward to that whenever that happens. He's one of my favorites. The one thing that has left me, I think, has been lacking a little bit. I mentioned, for as much as the SmackDown tag division to me has been cooking, the mid card, ever since Shinsuke took the belt off LA Knight, not much going on there. I mean, you got the workhorse, obviously, in Carmelo Hayes, but like Andrade's stock's been down kind of since that best of 7 that he had with Carmelo, and how they fit those people into the Rumble. But like, there's so much talent that they have within the main roster, NXT, and even this TNA partnership. You could certainly have a 40-man Royal Rumble right now. But in terms of the favorites, right, like just going back to the directions that I think that they want to go, it's John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. It's Roman Reigns, CM Punk. What does that mean for Gunther? Like, this is just what I think. Now, this could change. I don't know. Does the go home math on Monday or Friday change my mind about the Rumble? Potentially, but I don't see it. I'm curious what the direction is for Gunther. Is it Seth Rollins? I don't know what they want. That's been refuted. Like, that's not the direction that they want to go. I know there's a lot of talk about Goldberg. So does Goldberg cost Gunther the title before WrestleMania, setting up a program where maybe those two have a match non-title, and then you have the World Heavyweight Championship freed up somewhere else? I don't know which direction they go. I don't know how we get to this, but I don't think John Cena is going to win this match, because I think that a lot of this year is going to be him coming this close. Like, I don't think he comes out and says this is going to be his last Royal Rumble, last Elimination Chamber, last Money in the Bank, unless you want him competing in all those matches. If he wins this, he's not a part of the Elimination Chamber. And there's probably no point in having him be a part of Money in the Bank unless he's going to lose that belt pretty quickly after WrestleMania. I think it's going to be a constant chase really until the end of the year. Like, very little title reign, if it does happen as that 17th title. Predictively, I do think we get a John Cena 17th World Championship win. I just do not think it's happening relatively early in the year like it would be at WrestleMania 41 here. So I don't see it. I don't know how we get to what I'm expecting to have happen with a CM Punk Roman Reigns if he wins it. But my winner, CM Punk, winning the men's 2025 Royal Rumble. How do we get there? I guess it'd be something that I really don't necessarily want to see happen, is Goldberg costing Gunther the title against either Roman or CM Punk or something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know how this branches off into the WrestleMania feuds or WrestleMania matches that I'm expecting, but those programs, I want to see them. They've been on the table, widely rumored, and I think that that's the direction that they want to go. Cena versus Cody, Roman versus Punk. I don't know what we do with Gunther at WrestleMania. I don't know if he still has the belt. If he does, that probably means this is either Cena or, I guess, Rollins to face Gunther. But again, that's been refuted that that's the direction that they want to go. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I got CM Punk here winning this thing. That's the direction that I'm going to go. I think that's the direction they want to go. And that'll be interesting to see how do we get to all these feuds as we head to WrestleMania. But that's all I got for you. Appreciate you guys tapping into this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video here. I promise eventually we're going to have more consistent content over here. I hope that that's coming in the very near future. But appreciate y'all coming along for the ride. A lot more WWE content if you're into that. So this is a little bit different than anything that I've posted, but certainly one of my passions. I'm excited to get rolling with more stuff like this. So again, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time.